Oh, hello there. Many League of Legends players ask the question, why won't Travis shut up about Magic the Gathering? And that's a fair question because in the past few months, I have been in an official MTG commercial for their Lord of the Rings set. I guested on a major Commander show. I've been a special guest at multiple events. I've been now followed by the principal Magic designer at Wizards of the Coast on Twitter. And I run a bi-weekly Magic the Gathering meetup for games in the esports industry. So how did this all happen when just over a year ago I had not played a single game of Magic the Gathering? That's what I want to talk about here because a lot of people have been asking me this question in my Twitch chat whenever I'm doing all this stuff, or they hear me talk about it on Hotline League. Wild Turtle brought it up in an interview I did with him last week. Everybody's like, what is going on with this dude? And so this is a story of how I went from not having played a single game of Magic to becoming so obsessed with it and in multiple content pieces and doing all this stuff in as I said, less than a year. Taking a step back, I should say that the only physical card game experience that I'd had before this, outside of board games or whatever, was when I played the World of Warcraft trading card game back in the late 2000s. This is before Hearthstone. There was actually a physical version of the World of Warcraft trading card game. I really liked it. It was really fun. I played it a ton with friends, and I was pretty obsessed with it. I even went to some events and tournaments and stuff like that locally to play the game. I had a great time. And funny enough, in 2013, I would actually end up meeting one of the designers of that game at a drunken evening at a PAX East after party for League of Legends named Brian Kibler. And he comes back later in the story, but he was also a big League of Legends esports fan, so we talked about that, and we talked about the WoW TCG and how I thought that the quest system in it was superior to what I knew at the time, the little I knew about Magic the Gathering. So in the years in between WoW TCG, because that went defunct in, 2011 or something like that, and more recently, I ended up playing several digital card games, including Hearthstone, Artifact, Gwent, mostly within the Witcher game, Slay the Spire, and yes, Legends of Runeterra. But none of them really triggered that same kind of feeling that I had from playing the WoW TCG. I never was able to get that feeling I had back when I played with my friends. That was the case until last summer when I was recovering from a breakup. And as you often are post-breakup, I was looking for something to do to fill my time. And a good friend of mine, Damien Estrada, who you might know, he's been in the esports space for a while. He works at Team Liquid currently. He's been there and at 100 Thieves and bounced around a little bit. But even in some of my content, he invited me to draft Magic the Gathering at the Team Liquid Alienware training facility. And so I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not doing anything this weekend anyway. I'm all alone, so I will not be all alone. I will go play Magic. And I had a really great time there. We were drafting. I dragged Kobe, my roommate, along with me to play. And halfway through the draft, because I had drafted, these other games before, I was familiar with the concept, I found out that we were drafting something called Commander, which I had never heard of before, and was apparently a 4-person free-for-all format. And it was this weird thing where you have this card that sits outside of it. I didn't know what was going on. But the cool thing is that I used this little sheet that had like archetypes that you could draft with, 2 colors. And I did quite well, actually. For somebody who didn't know what the hell was going on, I ended up winning one of my groups, and it was quite fun. I had such a good time that I decided I would come back again. So this thing was supposed to happen every 2 weeks. It didn't always happen every 2 weeks at the time. So I drafted a couple more times before Worlds. And this is where things are kind of funny how life lines up sometimes, because around the time of Worlds, I knew I was going to go to Brandon Sanderson's convention in Salt Lake City the week after Worlds. For those of you that don't pay attention, my other obsession is fantasy novels specifically written by Brandon Sanderson. I have an interview with him up on my YouTube channel that you can check out. And funny enough, the interview was going to take place before the convention. But as Worlds was progressing, I found out that they needed to move the interview to afterwards. And so I was like, all right, well, I can't like the flight and the hotel and all that stuff was somewhat non-refundable, so I just sort of extended my stay, and I was like, well, I'll spend a couple of extra days in Salt Lake. Around that time, Brandon Sanderson, who is coincidentally also obsessed with Magic the Gathering, started promoting the fact that for one extra day, he would be at an event happening in the same convention center called MTG Summit. It was the first time they were doing this event. Brandon had some friends that were running it, so I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to this to spend some time. I've started playing. I reached out to another friend of mine that I met at that same party in 2013 at PAX East, named Lady Lavinius, who I knew was a Magic the Gathering content creator. And she said, I said, are you going to go to this? She said, no, but you should reach out and see if they will give you a creator badge. So I did just that, and they said yes. And so I was like, all right, now I am going to this event, but I barely have played Magic, and this is a thing where hardcore people are going to this, and there's going to be all these events and all these formats, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So what did I do? Well, I came back after we were done working at Worlds every night to my little hotel room in New York City near the Madison Square Garden venue, and I just started watching Tolarian Community College YouTube videos. So for those of you that don't know, one of the biggest YouTubers in the Magic the Gathering space, I think the biggest, is a guy named The Professor who does these videos on his channel called Tolarian Community College.
I am not a boomer, okay? Stop calling me a Magic the Gathering boomer.
And he just has so many videos because he's been around almost as long as I have in terms of content creation. And he's got videos on how to draft, how to do this, all the different sets, etc. So I just binge watch these to try to understand what the heck was going on in all this and how drafting works, because I did that a little bit, and how sealed works because I'd never done that. And I just like downloaded into my brain as much Magic the Gathering as I could in these nighttime evenings between Worlds matches. And so I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to this, I should probably do this because I don't know anyone else who's really going, other than Brian Kibler, who I did meet up with at the event, but I knew he was going to be really busy because this is like his job. For me, it was a hobby at the time. Through a hilarious confusion sitcom style situation where I mixed up one Dana for another, I ended up meeting this Magic the Gathering prodigy named Dana Fisher, who was 12 at the time. She's now 13, and her father, Adam Fisher, who coincidentally has worked at Riot for a very long time, but doesn't work anywhere near esports, didn't know who I was, and I was talking to them, and suddenly we realized we were both around the same space. That was really cool. I met TGI viewers at this event, including a guy named Michael, who is still active in the Discord, my Discord in the Magic thing. He's called into Hotline League a few times recently. He's a cool guy. So it was just a great, great time. And when I got back from this event, I was so hungry to play more Magic the Gathering because I'd had such a great time. And so I went back to that group of friends who were trying to play draft every so often. And they were struggling to get 8 people sometimes because it was a smaller group and some people got busy. And so then I just said, okay, fine, I'm just going to start filling this thing. So I started inviting people. We started running it. And then eventually I just kind of took over this thing. And it grew and grew and grew. And I also started to play at local game shops here, so card shops. So I play at a store called Paper Heroes and also at a place called Next Gen. More often, I guess, lately at Next Gen than Paper Heroes, but you'll see me there if you live in LA and you ever come out. There's a good chance you'll bump into me at a draft. Golden Guardians offered their space for us to start hosting these, so we started doing them there as well as at Team Liquid sometimes, depending on what was available, and I started building my own commander decks. And then in spring of this year, Brian Kibler, who I had mentioned previously, and his partner Olivia run this really cool show called Commander at Home, which is a commander show, and I made a guest appearance on it with Pastry Time, where we played our commander decks. And funny enough, I played the deck that I was given at MTG Summit in the November before. I had upgraded it, and so I got to play that as well. So I also started to open packs on stream after Hotline League, which became like a really fun thing to do. My audience wanted to just like hang out and talk to me. You know, I've always struggled sometimes to play games while streaming because I'm like distracted. I can't pay attention to the Twitch chat. This was a really fun way for me to open some packs and hopefully offset some of the costs. And I even ended up playing with some TGI viewers at Spring Finals. We played Commander, and I hosted like a little bit of a meetup. So continue to be a huge fan of it. Went to card shops in London and played during MSI, and a friend of mine eventually, who had a connection at Wizards, recommended me for this commercial that they were going to be filming where people got to look at the Lord of the Rings cards early and react to them and talk about them and just get excited about them. And so I ended up filming that, and that released, I think, sometime in May or early June. Anyway, it's up on the Wizards of the Coast channel. So just all this stuff ended up happening. I came back, went to Command Fest in Anaheim, and went to Dallas because those events and those organizers reached out to me, and I reached out to them. Really cool people at Laughing Dragon who run these events. And now I'm going to Tacoma next month for all of this. So going through all that, I know it was a lot, but I wanted to talk a little bit about why all of this has happened. And this is not an ad. I have done some promotional work now with this Lord of the Rings set for them. But this video is just because a lot of people have been curious, why do you like this so much? I think more than anything, it is the in-person experience. I really like having this kind of community event that I am running every 2 weeks with a bunch of people in the industry. And I've started to invite new people that I've met at card shops that work in the space, and friends of friends have come. And so now it's becoming this kind of like cool communal event where all of us can get together, play Magic. And we've had people from Blizzard and Riot and a bunch of the different teams and sponsors and all these people come out. It's been, I don't know, I don't have anything like this, right? Like I'm not part of some sort of like tennis club or, you know, Kobe loves to go play volleyball with people. This is the first time in recent years that I've had something like that, and it has been really cool. And the game itself is just really fun. Every time they release a new set, it's like a new season update in League or something. You just get to dive in and learn all sorts of cool stuff. So now I want to just get, you know, if you don't care about Magic, you can now be done. You didn't have to stay until this, but I'm going to answer some questions here because I keep getting them all the time in my streams and elsewhere. Maybe I can just leave people here. So one, what formats do I play? I play Limited and I play Commander. My friends have tried to bully me into playing Modern or Standard. I'm not interested in that. I love the sort of random emergent gameplay that tends to occur when the deck is much more randomized, which is what happens in Commander, where you have 100 cards, only one of each. You never know what you're going to pull, and you can play with so many cards from all of Magic's history there. In Limited, which is draft and sealed, that's where you basically are given packs. You have to build something, you play then. You don't have to like build your own deck, which I think some people get nervous about. They're like, oh, I don't have a deck, or I don't want to go build a deck or something. Like, you just go and draft for $15 and you get 3 packs. You can just play there. I love, you know, never knowing what my opponent's going to have, never knowing what I'm going to be able to pull, and sort of the deck building component is really fun. A lot of people ask what commanders I play. Right now, I have that upgraded Urza Precon. I have a Sheoldred. She was my first one that I built. That's the one that you draw when you draw cards. People take damage, or you heal. They take damage when they draw cards. I have a version of something that the professor did a video on, which is the Azuri Stalker of Spheres deck. It's like a proliferate counters deck, Simic blue-green. And then I have a Soltham deck, which is the deck from the All Will Be One, where it doubles all non-combat damage. It's really, really fun. You just blow people up. There's a Mox field below if you guys really want to look at that. But now I don't have to answer that question again. My favorite color. I don't have a favorite color. Everybody keeps asking me this question. Other people have favorite colors. I don't know how you do. It's just really fun to build in whatever color. Do I play MTG Arena? Yes. I went 7-0 this morning, which felt really good. I'm now plat. I'm right about to be plat 1 in draft in Lord of the Rings. And so we'll see if I can get diamond. That would be really cool. I stream it sometimes. Not many people watch. If you want to watch me play Arena, you can watch me stream. Why don't you play Legends of Runeterra, Travis? That's a League of Legends game. Yeah, I did play a lot of it. I really liked Legends of Runeterra. The reason I play MTG Arena, the digital version of Magic, is because I really like the paper version. If Runeterra had a paper version where I could go and play with a ton of people at different events, I would probably do that. But they don't have that, so I can't do that. So I don't play Legends of Runeterra anymore. I want to say I'll be in Tacoma next month, MXP Tacoma. I'll put a link there if you want to play with me. I'll be there. But I'm also going to try to do some sort of event in summer finals at Newark if folks want to play. I'm going to try and find a card shop. If anyone has recommendations of card shops around Newark or something that people could get to very easily, let me know, because I'd love to hold a draft or a big commander thing or something there, and everybody can come out and do that. But go join my Discord, the Magic the Gathering channel on the TGI Discord. It's discord.gg/Travis. There's a link in the description. If you want to talk about Magic or you want to ask questions, you want to learn more, I'm more active in that than I am in the other channels, which I still care about League of Legends. I'm not leaving League of Legends for Magic, even if I wanted to, which I don't. I don't think that there's a viable career path right there for me right now. But I do talk a lot about Magic in that channel. You can go check it out. That's where I'll give updates on where I'm going to be in the future for other events, because I want to go do a bunch of stuff coming up. But anyway, thank you so much. If you want to learn more about Magic the Gathering, not an ad, but if you like the story and you're interested, go check out the Tolarian Community College YouTube channel. I will link that in the description as well. It's fantastic. The professor does great stuff. And I met him at MTG Summit, which was really cool. He's a great guy. Anyway, that's all for now. If you like this video, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already, and become a member for just $2.99 or more if you want. It supports the channel, and you can see videos like this one early. It's really great. Thanks, everybody. Bye.